here every time you go. The way you are here is the way you are everywhere. So that means present, enthused, excited. About real estate, tell me what's going on in your world.
I updated you yesterday.
I know you did. Anything new?
No, well, okay, so this morning there was a multifamily that hit the market. And the guy that I talked to last week, I sent it to him, mainly because I have a two-car garage. But I spun it differently where I was like, hey, this is different than what we talked about. You said you wanted a two-bed with a garage in Anderson.
Yeah.
This would be an investment property. If you look at Bill Well, this is just like another round. So I think it's a great price in the market today. So
good. That it's really important. Whether it's something they're going to like, not like, it doesn't matter. After that, you're staying in touch with them, and you're going to start getting feedback. You may not even answer it. That's a big too. But as you start to get feedback, then you're going to discover more and more why it is. So, are we recording?
All set.
All right. Tips for success. I don't even know what we're doing today. I just got a call. I was still in bed. I said, here I am. You're getting it.
There we go.
We're going to learn this together.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Probably not really, but we'll muddle through it, right? So, nothing. You lost to help me. We would be lost.
Thanks for making us all Jeff.
And you got a voicemail. What about you, Logan? We all do, right? So I've got some really cool stats for you now, because we paid for, I paid for them, and please, I love you. So one of the things is the best time to get a hold of people all week, and this is a study by MIT, and Thursdays are the best time to people between 8 and 9 in the morning and 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know why. I don't know that they know why, but they do say that that is the best time to get a hold of people. So keep that in mind when you're making calls. Also, you said you don't get rid of big calls, 7 calls. You're better off to pick up your phone and to start dialing people that you want to talk to in a bunch of years or days or months or whatever, and use the script. The script is awesome. Doesn't put you on the spot. Just create relationships.
She meant for someone else because these questions look like that they're meant for somebody else.
That's just so anyway.
No, I mean, yeah, like, I understand that, but.
So with that said, the other thing
I'm sorry,
that's really critical is if you get a call and maybe you're not, believe you may be getting them, but you're probably not yet. It's out there and so once you start advertising, even through command, like I did an ad, this is got 10 replies already. If you do not call them the first 5 minutes, your success rate, if I ever talk to them, is down like 90%. I staggered. So if you don't get to it as soon as they reach out to you, you're probably not going to touch them for a while. And the next piece of that is, and this is all about relationships, is to, like, you need to call them at least 6 times, like over a series of days, just to make sure you're six actual phone calls and intermixed with texts, emails, however you can reach them. Okay, so that's really critical to any business. Any questions on that?
What do you advertise if you don't listen just yourself?
Yeah, but it doesn't really do much. So what I would do, if it were me, because I found out early on, so I was in a data program with Command, and I was setting it up like 7 years ago or something. And when I rolled out the advertising piece of it, I tried to implement everything, and if you're just advertising yourself, it doesn't grab them typically, but if you're advertising listed in an area where they live, and they see that, that's the fact. That's why I call it that. So, it's better to follow listen to someone and then you have listened to them this year, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what
The other thing I could advertise would be the bills from.
good. Get a written permission from them to do that.
Okay.
To make sure that you're covered. And the same you can do that, you can run this through what I did with that, I'll show you after this class.
Yeah.
Because I did that with Fisher and I did a landing, we have to do a landing page for fans. It'll take to figure it out. But if you do a landing page in command, you can put those new listings there. So when they click to find out about new construction, it will take them directly to those, so that they can maybe not just one, maybe three or four. You're gonna probably put one up, but when it takes you to that landing page, it's gonna tell you this is what they had and this is. And I love that.
Sorry.
Hey, good
You
morning.
wanted us to call people and people call back.
My goodness, isn't that
Isn't
amazing?
that amazing?
I love it.
Yeah. It's so our childcare woman, 15 years ago, I tell her she was in college, and moved her in and everything. She's like a sec mom. But then when I did my open house, her ex-sister-in-law lives next door, and I met her. And I'm gonna send her a thank you note, but I couldn't remember if her name was Janice or Janet. Could, but I wanted to pass it down. And so we just had a little chit chat about that.
There you go.
That's all. And then she just said that I would do really well in real estate, and she's full compliment. It is nice.
So whenever you make these board calls, like I said, and we said in here, this is about relationships. This is really not what I'm saying. Usually it gets to real estate because we say, are you still in the same job? What are you doing? They may ask, they typically respond, what are you doing? If they don't know. And it happens all the time. So they might say, so what do you, how's your job going? I'll say, well, good, great, awful, whatever. But then they'll usually say at that point, how's your job? How are you up to? So it's just a great relationship building situation. I do really like that. So,
You know what, I'm just gonna go by the session up here. We're gonna see what they say because we're so short on time anyway. I'm sorry that, I'm just getting here, but I got the call about 8:30. Oh, boy, do I like this. Okay. So know that growth comes from clarity, priorities, and focused action. Clarity, I love this. Clarity, priorities, and focused action. So they're talking here about lead capture, your database, and how that goes through this funnel and prepares contacts for conversation, and then you get business from that. Let me back up to that other slide. Let's see where to go. Yeah, clarity, priorities, and focused action. By the time you get in here in the mornings, you should be ready to make calls. Remember, a perfect day at Keller Williams is making your lead generation calls first thing in the morning, usually 9 to 11. Why is that? We just talked about times, we know that's not the best time necessarily, but why is that? Why do they want you to do that? Yeah, because I had 3 boys. They were growing up when I was in real estate. So I would be getting ready for work. And if I didn't get my calls out of the way between 9 and 11, usually they'd be gone and I'd do that. But if it was a bad day, I've got a dog throwing up in the corner that's sick. I've got a kid screaming because something happened. Boys are fighting. The rule in my house was, if it's not bleeding and they're still breathing, don't come to me. Just work it out between the two of you. Because life happens, is what I'm trying to say. Life kicks in, life happens. So if you can get all of this out of the way first thing in the morning and dedicate that to just that time, and when you're doing your lead generation, you guys, nothing else exists. If a call comes in, don't take it. If a text comes in, ignore it, because that 2-hour period probably is not going to make any difference unless it's a critical call that you've been waiting for and waiting for and waiting for, and finally they call you back. Yeah, of course, you're going to grab that. But typically during lead gen, it's sacred, and that's what you do. So clarity is being clear on your clear on your goals? Do you know what it is you want? Have you guys set your goals yet? Yeah, so you know what you want to do. Do you know what you want to do by the end of the year? We're going into September. Can you believe we're going into September soon?
No.
I'm gonna have a meltdown. I may have a full nervous breakdown for that, so you may have to come to my rescue. But are you clear on your goals between now and December 31st?
Yeah.
Okay, good. If you're not, please get clear on this. I'm reworking mine and they'll be ready by September the 1st for my team. So your priorities, what are those priorities? The other day, if you were here for our session, our market center session, and Kristen talked about the 135 and the 411, this is where you clarify your priorities. You should really only have a few, because if you get too broad, you're not going to get any of them done. And focused action. And what does that focused action look like to you? I'm just going to ask each of you, what would focused action look like to you, William? There you go.
So for me, the goal for the year is to try to close one. I think if I could close one, then I'm gonna hit two for the end of the year.
Perfect.
Transaction.
Love it.
So then the focus action.
Do you have those focused actions written down and you can look at them every single day?
I think about it every day.
Thinking about it and having it in front of you is going to be a little bit different. One of the most successful guys that I worked with in LA, because I did coaching there for about 5 years, and he called me and said, you know, I'd like to go into your coaching group. And I said, sure, let's meet. So then I get a call from his stepmother, who happens to be the head coach for Keller Williams. Did I know that? She was also my coach. And I did not know it was his stepmom. So I had a hard act to follow. But he did everything right. He did not come from LA. He came from somewhere in the, I don't know, north, south, but not in LA. And he would come in every day with his 411 and he would put it in front of him and he would not stop until he got through his list of priorities. Okay, so hugely successful now. Another gal that was in that group was on stage with Gary last at Mega Camp. So just keep in mind, this is really important stuff. And hi, Lance. How are you, my friend? Good. But get those priorities very clear in your mind and stick to those, okay? Because with real estate, it's so easy to go all over the place for all of us. I mean, I go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I'd rather do that than have to make calls, of course. It's much more fun, right? So let's go forward here. So your database is really, really critical. I never believed this and I never bought into it and I did not want to call it then. For me, it was easier to call cold calls. That's how I was brought into the business. You cold call 12 hours a day till you get business. It works. It worked. Let me say that. It worked. And I did a ton of business my first year because I was on the fence 24/7 and I would not stop until I got 3 appointments every single day. And that's really how I got started. I found out there were easier ways that work just as well. And when I switched to those, that was fantastic. But work your database. You call somebody you knew, they called you back. They like you. They want you to do what they told you. Mm-hmm. Most of the people that you know are going to feel exactly that way. But they're not going to express that to you, and they're not going to think about sending you business unless you reach out to them first. Does that feel good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Does it make you want to do more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just getting on those phones, calling those people, start getting some positive reaction, and you're going to get tons of negative too. That's okay. Write those off, pretend they didn't happen, and just move on to the good stuff. So leads, you have the right to have a one-way conversation. That's a lead. Contacts is you've engaged in a two-way conversation. And a value-based relationship they're saying has been established. I'm going to say it's starting to be established because as you get deeper and deeper into this business and you're talking to more and more people that are your unmet people that you don't know yet, you have to learn how to create that relationship quickly, sometimes over the phone, sometimes via text message. That's a little more difficult than face-to-face. And so that's something that everybody probably should start practicing things to say that they're not going to sound canned, but they're things that we know that work. They won't sound canned if you practice them. And that does start creating a value-based relationship. And a two-way conversation can even be on Messenger. So if you're on Messenger at night, you'd start I don't know how you're doing your social media, but if you're talking to people through social, it needs to go two ways. And if they answer you, it's like ding, 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 I did a great job because they answered. Got them. And that's whether they're a stranger or a friend. Focus on building relationships and take market share. And that starts with mindset. So mindset, and we talked about this in the very first session when I was with you guys. Mindset's everything. If you don't have the right mindset going into this, you're probably not going to do well. So we used to call them, I have no idea what's in this session. I haven't looked at it, so I'm sorry. When you're getting into your mindset, we used to have what we called drunk monkeys, and they don't like that, but I still use it. So I still use drunk monkeys. That's that little thing on your shoulder that says, why would you call them? They're not going to call you back. Why would you talk to them? They're going to say no. Why would you waste your time? Why did you do something? Why are you in real estate? Why did I cut my hair? I look like a squirrel. I mean, it's a million things that's sitting on your shoulder, just yap, 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 yap. And you've got to throw those away and go in with a really positive mental attitude, knowing that you can do it. You can do it. My first mentor said, you know what, Susan, there's nothing special about special people. What makes them special is what they do. And what they do is they execute, they do the things, and they don't give up. They just don't give up. I just got off the phone on my way here with a lender who works with seniors, and he's awesome. He's way over the top awesome. And we were talking, and he's probably I think he's 72. I think that's what he told me. I think he's 72. And he goes, you know what? I just hit it. He goes, this is what I've worked for 50 years. 50 years he's been doing this. He's been successful all those years. He's made money, done great, had a great life, happy, married the same woman all those years. But he said, this is it. This is what I worked for all these years. He goes, it's finally coming back to me tenfold. And it's because, you know why? He never gave up. He just kept at it every single day. And he rings around most of us, I can tell you that. He's amazing. Any questions so far about that? You guys are so quiet. Should we sing? Why? Oh, it was?
Yeah, we just moved my daughter into the dorms and then.
Oh, that's sad. I'm so sorry.
Sad, it wasn't sad.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
He was very well loved in the community. It's good. Now it's like, I hope we come out from things like this.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna drift away. So I'm gonna read to you out of the book. Let's establish a mindset around follow-up with our contacts. If your database is a garden, then your leads are the seeds. Your contacts are plants, and conversion is your harvest. So what do you think about the expression on the slide? Today's conversation is tomorrow's transaction. Today's conversation is tomorrow's transaction. Follow-up is everything in this business. It truly is. The gal I'm closing next week, I've been talking to, well, I have my AI guy in that little guy in my computer talks to everybody, has been talking to her, and I finally took her over about 2 months ago. She's been on that website for a year. So what we're seeing in our conversion is the people we started talking to a year ago are now buying, which is crazy. You know, it's a rather slow turnover sometimes, but the consistency of staying in touch, I didn't do it, Alex did. And the other day somebody said, who is this? And he goes, it's Alex, I work with Susan, which he does, he's just not real. And I don't know, just an interesting conversation anyway. But they talk to him, and then he converts them for us a lot of times, which is really, really cool. And stop me at any time. This is not to be a dissertation, it's to be a discussion. So once you meet your new contacts, you either do business with them immediately or you don't. Either way, once you've met them, put them in your database and stay in touch with them. How long? Forever. Forever. Please do it. What?
It's a relationship.
It's a relationship that is going to go on. You guys are all young. You can take advantage of growth with these people that are coming up in the world. So please stay in touch with them. I have people come into my office a lot and they'll say, well, I'm going to clean out my database. It's like, no, don't. Unless you've divorced them, which I have a couple of times, don't take them out. Keep them in there forever. Because at some point, guess what? If you're in front of them all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, even if they haven't spoken to you in 5 years, guess who they're going to call? It's going to be you. It works. It's really, really important to do that. Is there anything you want to talk about so far? Little discussion, anything you got in your mind that you're thinking about this or how you're feeling about it? Or I think it's more important maybe than the words on the slides.
We talk completely honest, I feel like today and then next week too, and I haven't looked through the rest of the chapter, it just kind of feels like a review that we've gone over it some other classes already.
Okay.
And so to go over this for a whole hour and a half, to me, it's like,
Okay, got it. Well, I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm boring?
No, not at all. It's just material that we've gone over, I think, 3 or 4 at a time. Like,
Do you know why they do that? Because most people aren't going to do it. The attrition rate in this business is about 87%. 87% of the people that come in here are not going to last more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So if they do the things, all the things, they'll be here in 10 years. They'll be making a great life in 10 years. And so I think, I'm not Gary Keller, I really don't know exactly what he was thinking, but my guess is, yes, let's just push it and push it and push it until they get it and they start doing it. Because most people are never going to do it. You're doing it, William's doing it, you're here doing it. But look around you.
Right.
Look around you. What's going to happen to those people?
Well, I mean, I think, for me, like my goal or my priority is I'm putting up money in my pipeline. So I have all these contacts from life. And I cannot possibly call every month or probably even every quarter. Like, seriously, I have like 2012 pipeline. I cannot call 2012 every month. But I can make a call. I can update the database and I can get them into my pipeline. And my pipeline is a weekly newsletter. So then from there, I can see if they open it. I can see how many times they open it. And then I can text them a little follow-up. So I've thought out my funnel system to keep like every week they're gonna be like Kendall. I even know my magnet that I'm sent people that fit stuff the most for my top 50 people who are my magnets. Like they're not necessarily my people that will hire me, but they know 1,000 people that I'm
And they're just as important, if not more
More
important than the other people that you're trying to speak to as well.
Yeah.
Because that's going to bring you maybe 5 leads.
yeah.
So I think that's fantastic. Great advice.
So I think it's like I think if anything in this like repetitive, because it's repetitive content, there's a reason for it. If anything, it's like write out your funnel. So you call people, but then like, what are you doing? How are they taste or will every single day? Sorry. It's like how are they keeping it every single week and writing out your system. That's
You're totally right. I mean, you're going to hear this not just today, you'll probably hear it next week, next month, anytime that there's a really big session on anything, they're all usually going to touch on mindset and follow through because those are really two of the biggest things. So keep that in mind.
So too, I do want to ask, like once I get through my database, I know that when I stop making my lead gen calls, my business is going to slow down. You mentioned you started cold calling people. Is that still a thing? You have a cold call where?
Sure.
Where's their cold call list?
Branded phone calls. It's got like it's $160
There are systems, we use Mojo, and I don't know if you've heard of that or not, or if your team uses it, but Mojo is a triple dialer, which is legal. It scrubs the lists for you so that whenever you pull things up on there, it's been updated. So anybody that's a no call is identified, and they won't even give you that number. You can get them if you click that little box that says, I'm doing this at my own uh, permission to do this. They'll give you the numbers, but if you stick with it, it works. So yeah, I still cold call. Like we talked about yesterday off markets in the class, remember? And I said I sold the guy over in Kentucky. We found his house to cold call. So it does work. And I love it. I mean, once I get started, it's kind of addicting to me. I don't want to hang up because I want to see who's going to answer next, who might sell their house next that I haven't talked to yet. So for me, that's exciting. But some people will never do it. They won't even try, so is it a thing? It is, but you have to be really, really, really careful. If you get somebody that was accidentally called that might be on a cold call list, it's not a good thing. But Mojo does scrub the list. So, and I've used them since 2017 effectively, and have not had any problems with them ever at all. And it's a very easy system to use. So they're talking here about converting contacts to closed business. Convert leads and contacts to closed business, and that's by staying on top of mind. And the way that you do that is going to be by staying in touch with them. You have a system going already. It sounds like it's going to work for you. There is also, and I don't know if they've covered it with you, the follow-up system. Oh, I forget the name of it.
It was this week.
2 letters that you call every month. And if you do that through all of the people that you know, you should be touching your people every 3 months.
So it's like they did 19 Connect, and then they had designer annual 19 Connect.
Okay, perfect.
Calls, emails, direct.
Okay, great. Okay, so
So they may provide. I mean, that's part of the, they might have. Before, like, don't sign up for it.
yeah, definitely, they may already have it. So when I give you these things, always check first before you buy anything to make sure whether it's there or not, because they may already have a Joe or something. The other one is Land Voice. Land Voice is huge.
Something different. Wasn't those two, I don't think.
Follow Up Boss. There's a bunch of them. It's what you get used to as well. And I use Mojo because I know it's easy for me to use because I already know how to use it. I've used it effectively for 17 years, so if it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. But there's a million things out there, and they're coming out with more and more platforms every month, really, especially with AI. But anything that I got involved with, I would make sure AI is attached to it somehow, because it's going to help you. Our AI guy on our website is amazing. They like him better than us. Sad, but true. Convert contacts to closed business, remain top of mind. How do we remain top of mind? Just the things that we've talked about, and leverage mind share for referral business. So they're asking that not only are you talking to the people that you know already, but you are looking for referral business as well. So this is how you communicate with your database. 19 to connect, 36 to convert. Have you guys gone over this yet? Okay, well, I'm not going to waste your time with that then.
But I think that would be like Will and Chase, have you guys written down how you're doing the funnel? Like, so you call somebody, now what do you do with them? Like, you call somebody, now what do you do with them? Mhm. So, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in. It's, like that is that's very good to do. And that's very individual. Do you have like a system? Like I call someone, no matter where they are in the process, this is how I plug them in so that they're ready to get something from me. And this is the thing with like, do you have it systematized? So like every person I call, no matter what their interest level is, no matter where they are, I say, hey. Like for me, I have a newsletter. So I say, hey, can I send you the newsletter? It's gonna be funny stuff about me and my life and real estate. And so every week they're gonna go there from me. But you don't have to do an email, but like then what would be your next thing? Like is every person you call, do they get a thing? So are you getting their address? Business card. Or a monthly, you ask for the monthly email.
It depends on how long you've been on the phone with them. Like if you're making a cold call and it's a good relationship building situation, it's okay. And there's a way to ease into that. And I'm happy to share that with you. It's a cold call script I've used for years and years and years. So we can try that if you want. But I do want to get through the material because right here, if where they're talking about the touch plans, 19 to connect and 36 to convert. If you follow this, this has been proven, tried and true, proven by the mega agents throughout Keller Williams because everything that they give us here has been proven. We know that it works. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. So 19 to connect would be 4 touches quarterly phone calls, 12 touches monthly email. You're doing it beautifully, doing it once a week. That's awesome. 2 touches through promotional direct mail, such as a magnet, calendar, printed market report, and a 1 touch, maybe an annual event, party, movie screening. Those are kind of expensive. And I was actually thinking about that today when I was coming up on the elevator. And I thought, when's a good time to do an event? You could do an event for maybe 5 people. That would be great just to get together and have intimate conversations. But then I was thinking as my business grew and I was doing like 100 deals a year, at that point, I couldn't reach all those people together. Now, this was 10 years ago and I wasn't going to do an event. I just wasn't in my business plan at all. But now's a good time to start thinking ahead. When would I do that? 36 to convert would be 4 touches, telephone calls, 26 touches, biweekly email offering some type of information, 2 touches, events, get-togethers, parties, 4 touches, promotional direct mail, etc. And 1 to submit. Now, I always taught all my people in LA, you're either going to spend time or money. We talked about that for a second yesterday. Time is time. And right now, that's a lot of what most of our new agents have. We have time. We have time to stay on that phone 24/7. We really do. And that's where you should be. If you're not going out on appointments yet, you shouldn't hang up that phone until you start getting appointments. You just shouldn't. Or making the text. A lot of people will respond to texts that will not respond to phone calls. I'm one of those. Sorry. But, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And guess what? If you do that all day and you've talked to 20 people that day, you're probably going to get an appointment. Are you talking to 20 people a day?
No, this
Okay.
week I've not been. My first 2 weeks, yes.
You did.
Yeah.
And that was really successful for you,
I
wasn't it?
had 1 appointment out of it. I'm sorry, a lot of it.
Okay, so that's great.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. But the point is consistency, doing it every single day. So why are you not doing it now?
Because I've been sidetracked with figuring out that I realized I need my buyer's consultation and then trying to figure out contracts
It's a lot, right?
Yeah. And it's
But-
just me, like, seeing something shiny and I'm trying to, just get as much information as I can.
We give so many classes that are so full and everybody wants to come to many of them. But remember, if it's not putting money in your pocket, the whole thing of everything we do is to get you ready to go out there to sell real estate. Yeah, you need to know how to write a contract. But guess what? If you take your buddy out today and you go home and you're thinking, ugh, you have a team leader, you've got me, you have help all around you. So it's not like freak out time. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get this together for you. We're gonna go over it and then we'll submit it. You know, just maybe a one-page process right now, just so that you have it in your mind and you can hand that to your buyer. You're doing great. You really are. I said yesterday, I'm gonna pick you apart. And I didn't mean it like that. What I meant was that, yeah, well, but you know, this group has so much going for it that there is no way that you're not going to be top agents. There's just not. I know talent when I see it. And you're all in this room going to be top agents. I know that. You know, huh? William, what do you mean even you? Yes, absolutely you. Yes.
Show up every day.
You're here every day. We just figure out what we need to do is figure out what you're doing every day. Okay. Keep in mind 20 calls. Take lessons from Tara. Take lessons from me. You know, she went to the top of her game. I went to the top of my game because we never gave up. You know, if we knew that we needed 5 appointments that week, and I'm very competitive. So if there was a competition and I needed 5 appointments, you think I'm going to get them? I'm going to get them. Nobody's going to stop me. So, you know, I think that that's probably the fire in your belly. Maybe we need a little more fire. What would fire you up? But what about a reward if you do? Yeah. So I want you to think about that. If you did all the stuff, and what would you give yourself back for having done that that would get you really excited? My assistant Jennifer, we were coming out of COVID and we represented a builder, and our sales had languished. We were doing like 70 to 90 a year just with him. So they had 20 maybe we did that year, I think, or maybe less. I don't know. But I went to Jennifer and I said, Jen, we have, you know, I got off the phone with Greg. We have got to get these sales up. I don't really know what to do. What can we do to make sure that we stay on task every single day? Because if we miss a day, we're going to lose. And she goes, and I said, you tell me what would make you happy. Like when we accomplish this, what would make you happy? What would make you do this every single day? She said a trip to Atlantis. I said, you got it. You think she hit, you think she hit the goal? Daggone right she did. And the builder was thrilled. I was thrilled. We were all thrilled. Everybody was happy because we hit our goals. But that was her carrot. She loves the beach more than anything in the world, more than anything. And she would have done anything to get that trip. And she did. So, you know, it works out. But I want to know what puts fire in your belly. I don't think it takes a whole lot to put fire in your belly, but I'd like to know what that is. And you. And
I
you.
got my carrot.
Yes.
My carrot at the end of this day. Mine's gonna be my first paycheck, and then after that's gonna be the next one. Because for me, like, I am enjoying it.
I love that.
Like,
You're
I enjoy
enjoying it.
what I'm doing, I enjoy what I'm learning. And,
I think it's amazing. What about you?
I'm an internal driver suited for an external cookie, so I know that about myself already. So I mean, my first paycheck, my driver, because to me, my first paycheck is, you know, maybe someone doesn't have to come out of pocket. See, you know.
How awesome is
So
that?
it's a big, like, more than
Yes.
my daughter Mars, like maybe she won't have to come out of pocket, you know, so it's not just a paycheck, it's what a paycheck is.
That's exactly what it's about. So the money is good, but it's not going to keep you going.
Yeah.
The money is great when you get it, but it's going to be go in your bank. You're not going to see it. It's going to be out of mind, or you're going to spend it. Most agents just take it and spend it. Me being one of them early on, man, I had the best closet in the whole world. And it hasn't gone down too much, but at any rate,
You still do.
thank you. But I don't shop the same way. I only do bargain shopping. If it's not marked down, marked down. Yeah. So, but that paycheck is going to disappear and you're going to be right back where you started from. But if you say, Okay, and it could be little, it could be,
Yeah, well,
it could
then I'll
be a day at
rephrase
Kings
to,
Island.
Paychecks to go on savings to get my first house.
Okay, but I want you to have something physical that you said, okay, that was my first paycheck and I bought this with it. Or I
Going
did,
straight to the bank.
or I did this for myself.
For me, it's just gonna be the reward that the work I've been putting in is paying off.
Okay, great.
That was
And
the
that's
fulfilling
good.
part.
I'm a lot like that. I don't need a lot of stuff to like reward myself. I took all the awards I've gotten, I dumped them all in the garbage because I thought, I swear I did, a garbage full of crystal. I'm like, why do I need these? These are so old. I mean, I got to do it again, right? So, or not, it's my choice. So I dumped them all because they don't mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. But having what you're talking about does. One thing they're suggesting here is to offer go back to it. Where was it? Where to go? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today, you guys. Where did it go?
I would find a refresher on the one to cement. So is that just like one of the touches that you have and you do the 19 or 36 that solidifies the contact?
Which page are you on?
This was the touch plan that we were just on.
Uh-huh. Look at back. Okay.
Because I keep hearing 36 touch plan, 36 touch plan. And then like sign up on the newsletter. So like mine's just on my phone, I don't have it written down right now. I was on a call, I'm just trying to get contact information, phone, everybody's phone number. Email per day, and then home address. If I'm feeling like I can get it and ask for it. Sometimes it's weird for me to ask for it.
To ask
But
for
I
the
haven't had a problem
address.
with it yet.
Yeah.
Home address. And then my other touches right now, since I'm building my social media, are my social media touches.
Right.
I don't really know, but let's talk about what that could be. I think it's something different for everybody. It's not. So, what would that look like? How about you?
Oh, my question.
Well, we don't have any answers.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's better anyway. This is our answer.
So I guess in my mind, the way I think of it is maybe if you host an event and somebody comes and you've had, maybe it's in July, middle of the year, somebody that you've had, well, 14 touches with.
Uh-huh.
By July, and they come by and, maybe it's a lead from social media. I would count that as a cement, like meeting them in person, like they're interested in my business.
You're right. I love that.
Cool.
Go on. Don't stop.
No, that's all I have. Yeah.
No, I think, and I have read some, I've seen it, this is my first time. So I would say a high value touch would be, maybe even just going to start alcohol. It's coffee plus as much as gas. Or whatever it is that they do, maybe it's a glass of wine. Maybe, I have a client, she's a doctor, and she loves to have wine, we used to have wine every month. So that's a high touch value, right? She got sick, and then I got the job, crazy. But I think that's my touch. And another thing I really don't do, and I got this from Brady Sandon, who runs the luxury division for Keller Williams. He's got this thing called surprise delight. And surprise delight can happen at any time with your client, and I love it. So, working in Los Angeles, people are always saying, like, oh, what's that like? Looks like this. It's not really that much difference, or it's just another zero outside the house, but people are still people. So I was working with these two influencers that came into the real estate industry, and I was like, are you kidding me? You're getting too blonde. These are the smartest ones I've ever met. They have gone on to sell 22 and 23. They went on to sell Skaggsy Real Estate. They did 3 or 4 books on their $1 million price point. They just didn't sell. But these are the kinds of things they did. Like they had a house that had dogs. So during the showings, they would have a dog walker, which is easy in LA. Go get the dogs, and all the dogs would show. So the So they, that was their big hang, what am I gonna do with my dogs? And Kenzie said, no, listen to me. They're a professional dog walker." That's what they did. That's kind of a surprise in life. I had, when I do it, a lot of times it will be after we get through inspections, because that inspection period is like, is it gonna be okay, are we gonna make it, is everything, are we gonna have to, the house back on the market? That's a really stressful time for those people, unless they really just don't know what's going on. So my surprise in life is I'll call them up and say, so we had a successful time of negotiating the deal through, and it's still going to happen. And I'd love to send you a digital or this gift card to go to your favorite restaurant. No. Or they have to, so you do it. That's a surprise in life. Later, forget you. I have like 4 girls right here. So that's one thing. If they have children on a Sunday, if they're doing a house, give them tickets to great. I think that has some implications. People you're just talking to on the phone, I think is more than great. You know, let's sit together. I'm not gonna ask about this. I just want to know about you. Let's sit together and have a cup of coffee. Right, so I think that's probably it. Does that sound like it would be it to you? I'm gonna check this out and I'll send you more information later. But I would think that that's probably what they're.
And I think too, if you're just talking about somebody that's a lead you don't know and trying to immediately bond them, you need to know them that you can in some way, somehow solve a problem for them. Talking on the phone and they have a college student or a high school junior, you can talk about whatever, or like you're in a mountain bike, and you can talk about like being active. Oh, I just went on this trail. It's like giving them a tip that is of high value to that. So what would that be? That kind of would be different. So it's either like, oh, I just saw this thing on sale, you can go save this money. Like for me, my daughter's in UC, so I was telling everybody I knew that kid going to UC. I'm like, oh, I gotta call the bursar's office and ask them for a tuition discount and see if the UC grant is available. Because it's $5,000 times 4 years, that's $20,000 that you can get like I did. It's pretty low, and I had so many college age parents like, oh, I gotta call them right now. So it's giving some tip, something that's kind of to them. It's useful. And a lot of times that's either solving the problem or saving the money. It doesn't have to be related to the business. Yeah. And those are for people who don't really know.
Yeah.
A lot of people you don't know.
Well, so then maybe my question is like, are you cementing it and trying to take the relationship deeper, or trying to build business in the relationship? Which is more cementing?
You can only run with your touches, but you can't force the development of the relationship. So you have to have relationships first before you ask them for business. That's and I don't know the theory of real estate, but I know it was. So you can go, hey, I don't know you very much. I listen to 5 minutes of what you do, and now I'm gonna ask you to do money, big money business.
But sometimes it has to happen.
Sometimes it does.
You know, I think building a relationship is critical, and I think everything is 100% right. I'm not that patient.
Yeah, I get it.
I go in so, you know, I want to do business. I'm not going to be your best friend. I do want to know you. I want to know about you. I want to help you. I'm probably not going to be your best friend. I had people trying to be my mother. This one woman said, well, you don't have a mom. She's dead, so I'm just going to help. I'm like, no, I survived one. I don't need another one. Jeez.
Yeah.
So, you know, they come in all different ways in your life. The thing is to keep that professional distance and yet close to them at the same time. Just kind of figure out it's not always easy.
Yeah, talked about that yesterday too.
So, you know, just be careful with that as you're doing it. They're saying here to make a MOFR.
What is?
Make offer for immediate response. What would that be? Well, okay, so I'm on the phone with you, and you're trying to get an appointment with me. What would be an offer for an immediate response? I don't want to have other questions. I don't have any answers either. Leads up to go along.
Hey, go ahead.
I think maybe along the line of what you just said.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and anything really, right, just to create that offer. If they're further along in real estate, though, let's say they say to you, oh yeah, I am thinking about selling my house. What would be an offer that you can make for them at that particular given moment? To make you turn it into a business. We're talking about building a relationship, perfect coffee, glass of wine, whatever. But I'm gonna say to you, you know what, I'm happy, you'll get this. If you make 100 phone calls today, you're gonna, and talk to 100 people, you're gonna talk to somebody who says, yeah, you know what, we have it. What would be your response? An offer for a legal response.
It's a great time to sell your house. There's a lot on the market. Or there's a lot coming on the market. Whatever you would say, maybe offer some value that you know about what's going on. Without talking about it on that. So you don't know.
It's better to say something than plain.
Yeah.
Can I give you some recommendations? We're totally off, you guys, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, all right, you're
Yeah.
going down the right rabbit hole.
See, happy to run CMA.
Okay, let's role play. So I'm calling you. I'll see you my face right here.
Yes.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello?
Oh, hi. This is Susan. I'm with Keller Williams. And I was calling today to see if you thought about selling your house maybe now or possibly in the near future.
Hi Susan, thanks for calling today. I have actually been thinking about selling my house.
Oh, you
Maybe in the
have?
next 6 months.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Where are you gonna go with yourself?
I think I want to stay local. We're trying to downsize.
Oh, you are? So how big is the house you're in now?
4,000 square feet.
Wow, that's big, right? What is the reason you're downsizing?
The kids have moved out and we are empty nesters.
Oh my goodness. Is that good? Does it feel good?
Yeah.
Are they happy?
Yes.
Yes. I
It
don't know
is.
if I don't
Yeah,
have kids.
I know, well, we're just playing.
Yeah.
You can say anything you want. Well, that sounds so awesome. So when would you move if you did decide to go ahead and make a decision?
Well, we've been looking at maybe the next 6 months, but we really don't have any idea. We have not given much thought. We've only had the conversation once or twice.
Once or twice, okay. Well, again, my name is Susan, and I'm sorry I didn't get your name.
Susan, I have Chase.
Chase, Chase, anyway, nice to meet you over the phone. But, you know, let me ask you this, would it be okay if I stop by and meet you face to face, and maybe we could just take a quick walk around your house and get to know each other a little bit? I'm not coming to visit your house, I promise, I'm not gonna ask. But I would like to meet you. Can we do that maybe tomorrow, or would the weekend be better if your wife could be there?
Sure, what kind of information would you provide on the house?
Whatever you want. Would you like me to bring some things with me, or would you just want to sit down and talk about plans, which is better for you?
Great, let's just sit down and have a conversation, and if there's anything you can bring, I'm happy to look at it.
Absolutely fantastic. I would do that. You know what I'm gonna do for you? I will go ahead and do a CMA to give you an idea of what your house is going to be valued at. In today's market, the market's changing rapidly, so it'll be different in one. So just to keep in mind that the numbers that we look at on Saturday may not reflect next month's market. So we'll stay in touch though, and I'm gonna see you on Saturday. Which time is better for you, 1 or 3?
Let's do 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Okay, so sorry to meet you. Now, will your wife be there?
She will.
She will. Great. So at that time, I'm going to start to wind down a little bit. So I'm going to send you my email, but I don't have yours. So I need your email so I can send you a follow-up.
Sure, my email's chasesmall@gmail.
Perfect. Okay, you will be getting an email from me within the next hour or so. And it will have all my contact information there. You can visit my website if you'd like. I'm really excited to meet you guys. And again, I'm not coming to list your house, I'm just coming.
Susan, thanks for the call. It's got me more excited to sell my house.
Good, good. I can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much.
You too. See you Saturday.
Okay, bye-bye. That's it.
That's so good. Because it's the save or take it away. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So they don't always use that. I was using it with pen because I just want to use it, but but if it's a sell by owner, I'm coming to this house.
Yeah, you come over to the house.
Your goal is to get into their house. Your goal is to get in.
Yeah.
You cannot sell a house over the You have to get in front of them. Not always, but mostly. I mean, it happens if you don't. just sometimes, 99% of the time, you need to get in front of them and start building that relationship. So if they're not selling for 6 months, Casey, if you're not selling for 6 months, then we start to develop a relationship. Who are you gonna start calling when you need, oh my gosh, we have to take this room. Oh my gosh, we have to do this. Oh, well, I'm gonna call Susan, I'm gonna call Susan. By then, we're better. Most people, 77%, 73, 74% of the people only interview one agent.
It is.
74,
So thank you.
and then 75 for buyers.
So, because they don't want to shop.
No.
It's annoying. Okay. So, planning your goals for the future, plan your touches. Planning is critical to your business. Combine smart plans to help you to reach out to people, because if you curate those 3 or 36 touches to keep you on task and you follow a plan, it will definitely keep you going. So we zipped through that, didn't we? Unrelated to really what they had to say.
So let's talk for a minute. Tell me, did you get anything out of this today?
Yes. Well, because I was keeping a sidetrack, we were different things for different people. So
All right,
I
oh,
think
stop for a
after my-
second. What are you hearing from other people?
Okay, so also.
I wanna
my
hear all of it.
experience, 'cause I keep coming back to this experience I had last week. It made me realize that I was not as prepared as I thought I was. Right away, it was one question, well, a question I thought I was gonna ask, oh, no, there's another agent that I will talk to. I did not think about that on the phone call when we talked a week or two before. He was excited. He's like, I can't believe you called it off. Really? I think out of the house.
I think you were prepared though. I think you did a good job. You know, what you did, you met with him. The only thing, the place I think probably that it went just a little sideways is, that maybe we've got a real estate test. Just a teensy.
Yeah.
It might have happened that day, it didn't happen that day. I'm not sure it was expected. You did it, and that's really thought something about, because it's going to take that. And he will, he's going to come back to you, because you're going to do the right things to make sure that that happens.
Right.
Okay? Anything else? William, I'm gonna give you. I have no idea what your kids marry, I don't know, because we've never even had these discussions, but in the evenings, take that time to prepare. Take that time to prepare for the next day. Are going home. Do it. Okay. You make that list so the night before you know you're going home. Take that time. You not want to make them just like zip. We are done. I love you guys. I send you over to you, give me one.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
Really is crazy.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
This is a top 20% meeting with Peter Shaburi.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're always here.
For me, they go so much
They
better.
are always here.
Yeah, you know.
They're gonna be superstars.
Yeah, this is the great.
So I'm glad we did that last like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's better for me. Better collaborative.
Second review for us to fill out.
We're the reviews.
For this?
Reviewing there you go, y'all. Thank you. Putting this together, so we have something coming up, right?
Yes, we do, October. Actually, it's actually, yes, but we're talking about something different.
Oh, yeah.
All scanned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.